All right, see, a fiduciary obligation exists whenever a relationship with the client involves a special trust. If you can't trust your professor, well, and you can't, you have to have the trust, you have to have the confidence, you have the reliance on the fiduciary to exercise his discretion or expertise in acting for you, the student client. It's not happening right now. If they won't look at this kind of evidence, this is DNA evidence. This is support. I have the factual evidence. I have the material, substantive, factual evidence. And I have it in copious quantities. And it's nothing here that is not 100% certain in my mind. And if I'm wrong, I want to know why. I have the evidence. I don't have guesses. It's time for my evidence to be examined by the fiduciary obligated professors, and Yale University specifically. Right down the street from me, 8 years now, refused to engage. I see they changed the name of the university geology department because they realize, and they show a big picture of a chunk of meat, which I have here, same exact stuff. Now, I only want to mention that the only reason I get so, obstinate about this is because there's just been a complete dismissal of the evidence, the facts that they expect and tout as being evidence. They don't have it. I have it. They refuse to examine it. I won't allow this. I won't allow it. It will go legal if this does not get resolved. All right? Thank you. I don't mean to be this way, but that's the way I'm going to be. You see that? That's the muscles. That's some muscle fibers right there. All right, this is a layer of blood. It's probably kind of hard to see. I put a little moisture on here because sometimes you put a little, well, almost always you put moisture on here. It rehydrates and you can see pretty good. But that is all muscle fibers. And they break off at certain places. Normally I call them the abrupt transitions. This is the surface of the skin at the top. Very, very tough. It's got a lot of silicone up there, and then you get into the fleshy stuff. You don't have that scratchy silicone up there. I have a lot to offer, and I expect to be part of this understanding. And the kids can go out right now. They're home now. They can go out and find fingertips like that. That's a fingertip. You see that right there? That's the blood gushing out the end of the fingertip. That's what happens to them. The blood runs out of the fingers. You might go out and find a lung like this. You take your kids out. You'll find, you just walk around in whatever's laying. You might find a chunk of meat. All right? That's a chunk of meat. It's literally meat. All right? You may go out and find a toe that's turned into metal. You see this? Watch this. This is a toe this is a special condition where the guy died standing up in a saltwater flood. And that's what's left of the bone right there. That's the only last bit of the bone. All right, the rest of this is now metal, which is all the metals collected here, except right there. That's where the last of the blood is running out of the tip of the toe. They make this shape like this. When you find them laying out there, look for usually can see the blood vessels on both sides. Here, there's one I found a couple days ago out walking my dog. Hold on. There it is right here. Now this looks like a toe, or I believe that's a toe. All right, you see the end here? Let's see if I can make this look. Sometimes you gotta shine the lights just the right way and look at it just the right way. Anyway, that's the artery, that's the vein, and that's what's left of the bone. Yeah? Now they flatten out, and it's just laying like this, and that's a toe, and that right there is actually where the toenail is. And again, it has this shape to it. It has that little hook to it there. And this is the pads underneath. That's where the most of the pressure was on the guy's foot. Now, I've looked at this in a microscope. You can see the fabric of life. And they all have, every single one of these, 100%, will have the same fabric of life. And that fabric, I know it extremely well. But the kids can go out and find all kinds of things. You see that? That's an apical tuft. That was on the tip of a fingertip. That's on the tips of our fingertips. It's an apical tuft. That's a toe. You say, oh no, Roger, that's not a toe. Oh yes it is. And that's the guy's callus. You see, I remember I showed you the other one here. This one's all metal now. Alright, I got another one over here somewhere. Hold on. Alright, this is what they do. Some of them do this. That's a toe. That's what ends up being a toe. And you can't see it now, but that little red spot right there in the back, that's where the blood is. Yeah? That's blood right there. Those spots are blood. The toe is like this. It was one just like this. It was just like that. You see it? It was identical to that toe originally. Whoops. It depends on how far they deteriorate down. Some of them will turn right into glass. I mean, that's what all the crystals and things are. Things are replaced. It's called invasion. Nucleophilic invasion is where something goes right in and it replaces the thing that was in there. In watery solutions and all these different molecules in chemistry, they make them and break them. And eventually the thing will find its best friend. And then they will become bonded together, and that's called stability. Stability. All right, so go out and find some of these things. Take the kids out. You have a blast. You're going to find things you can't explain. Things I can't explain. Like, what the hell is this? Why did that happen? I'm trying to figure this one out. I think it might have been a ring or something. I really don't know. I mean, that's very, but it's the same material. I don't know. These are the kind of things you have to figure out. I don't have all the answers. I got a lot of questions, and I got a lot of interest. I love doing this stuff. I've been doing it for a very long time. And I understand it very well now. And I've had the tests done, so I'm not an idiot about this. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing. Yale's the ones that are guessing. All right? Talk to me. Right? That's all I can say. I want to be part of the conversation. Case closed. I deserve it. Now, just so you understand, I did one the other day, Yale's MFU competency hearing results, and they are not competent in my analysis. I have 83,000 people on my channel here, which are, a lot of them are heavily engaged. Not tons of them, but thousands at least, a few thousand. And of them, there are some lawyers. And they are fully supportive of my activities here, saying that there's no reason that this should be allowed to continue legally. It's just not allowed. They're destroying these kids' futures. And they realize it. They should. If they don't, they're incompetent. So where do you go with this? They're either totally incompetent, or they are fraudulent, or they are negligence. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this has been pushed over and over. I mean, I actually have had bad engagements with these people. And so they're obstinate against this. And I will not allow that. I'm not going to allow it.